Good afternoon, this is Dave Wendell with Bushcraft on Fire, and we're pleased to be with you for another video. Today, Andy Elliott and I are out scouting Hercules Glade Wilderness for the Minimalist Camp. It's about 2 weeks now until the Minimalist Camp, 2 weeks and 2 days. So we've got our map, we've got our compass, and some packs out here if we need anything. We're going to go out through the trail, and we're going to take you along and show you some of the scenery that we're going to see here on the Minimalist trip. What you doing there, Andy?
Getting lined up on the map to go down this trail.
Alright. Well, I think we're about ready to head out. Let's take a look at the trail there.
Yep.
There we are, the head of the trail. So let's go ahead and start going. Alright. One of the things that we want to make sure that we understand coming on this camp is that this is bear country. And so I'm going to make sure we make some noise on the trail, and we're going to try to keep our camps clean while we're out here and keep food high up in a tree away from the sleeping areas. How are we doing, Andy?
Good.
We're about a quarter mile in here, folks, and really beautiful out here. We've got lots of cedar, plenty of oak, hickory, quite a few dogwood, and here's some shrub oak, smaller stuff. We just have a plethora of wildlife in here, little poison ivy sprinkled among everything. It's real pretty. You can hear the wildlife out here. So we're going to keep up the trail. We're going to go back in today about a mile to a mile and a half and have a little bit of lunch and then come back out. And quite often when we're talking about setting up camp, we talk about widowmakers, and we had some bad thunderstorms last night, and it looks like this tree became a widowmaker. Had anybody been camped underneath of this, it would have been in bad shape. Not the way you want to be. So watch out for these kind of trees. You can see, if you look carefully, the tree looks good at the bottom, but up top it's obvious that it's weak, that it's been already had lightning or something taken off one branch, and this branch on the left came off today. So you want to be careful with that. Well, we know that we're going to be getting some dinner in a little bit up here, so we're getting a little bit of dry tinder off of a cedar tree. You don't want to strip a whole tree, so what we'll do is just get a little bit from this tree. We'll go to the next tree and get a little bit more. That'll give us some dry tinder in order to start our fire up pretty quick and be able to get some water boiled up for our soup that we're going to have down at the bottom of the trail. One of the things, even though it's rained out really hard, you can see underneath this tree cover, because we've got a lot of leaves and stuff overhead, you can see it's pretty dry. We have had quite a bit of rain. Even this morning it rained for about 2 hours, so you can see that the cover overhead, the canopy, keeps it pretty dry. Alright, there's a lot of punkwood here. I'm going to gather some of this. Again, this stuff crumbled up. Make good for our campfire as long as it's not too wet. And one thing we just saw as we were getting the camera set up here, saw a white-tailed deer just shoot across about 35-40 foot from us. So I'm going to walk down in there real quiet, see if we can spot that deer. I'll let you get a glimpse of him. Alright, we've got some thunder rumbling off to our south, and so we're not going to go too much further in today. We don't want to get stuck in here. Here's an old cowboy camp. There's a fire pit. You can see where they had their tent laid out. So we're going to stop here for a little bit and get a fire laid up, eat some lunch and relax. Then we'll head back up the trail toward the trailhead. Well guys, we didn't get past the rain. We didn't beat it. So what we're doing is throwing up a tarp for a while to set it out and see what happens. Hopefully we're not going to be spending the night out here. But we're just pulling this tarp out, put 3 edges up high, I found the other edge down into the ground, and that'll give us a good handle for that tarp. So we're going to get this set up. We'll be back with you in a little bit when we cook lunch. I don't know if this is going to work today because it's really wet out here. Always have a backup, but you know, if you can, here we go. Flint and steel. Remember all the fuzz that we had from the cedar tree? There we go. Well, let's get our tinder. Put this over in the fire pit for now. Get a fire started, guys. Alright, it's been about half a minute here, 30 seconds. Threw a few leaves on top of there, on top of that cedar. Tried to pick some of the dry ones off the top, and got some dry wood on there. And that looks like it's in pretty good shape, so we're going to get it going, sit down and cook us some lunch. Alright, there we are after just a few minutes, I don't know, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. Got a fire going good. And got our shelter set up, and the rain stopped, so chances are we're going to be able to get out of here within the next hour or so. We'll just sit down and relax for a while, and then we'll get on out of here and head back up to the trailhead before big storms come in. You know, right here by our camp, we're just looking. We found this old feed trough. Looks like a horse feed trough. But an interesting thing, this is probably about 30 or 40 years old. You can see that the tree is actually growing right around this trough. Kind of cool. So we're in a historical kind of area right here. This side has broken and been replaced, it looks like. But that's what that is, feeding trough for horses when people bought their horses out here on the trail. Alright, well, we broke camp and we're heading out. So back up to the trailhead where we can get back in the car and go home. Andy's up ahead of me just a little bit. We're spaced out a little bit here because of the bears around here. Always better to have a little separation in between you. So we're watching each other 6 and heading back. Alright, well, we're back up the trailhead. And the thunder and lightning is still blowing out. Andy wanted to play for a bit, see if he could use this metal match. So he's got himself a good pile of cedar bark there. And he's going to get his striker and go to town on it. And he's got that going pretty well there. There you go. Get that pine on there. Good job. Yeah, we got fire. We also have thunder, so we better get out of here. Well, this is David with BushcraftOnFire and Andy Elliott with me. And we're glad to have you with us for this scout video. We've had a great time out here today. And we're going to try and beat these storms home. So y'all join us again for another video, and thanks for viewing. Have a great day.